What is up, everybody? John Parker here, and today I want to talk about warm-ups. I have a lot of personal training clients, and most of their sessions go about 60 minutes. So on my side, I need to make sure that I'm prepping their body for the heavy strength training exercises while also addressing mobility concerns in the least amount of time possible. So for me, what that means is that we're actually going to get into those strength training exercises with a little bit lighter weight. But first, I like to go over some general mobility exercises using a very lightweight kettlebell, and I'm going to share those with you today.
All right, guys, we're going to start with the kettlebell held behind the back right about your butt level. On this first exercise, we're just going up and down with the chin all the way to chest, and then eyes all the way to the ceiling. Next up, we're moving side to side, looking over the side of each shoulder. Okay, moving into a half crescent moon, facing up and then facing down. All right, the half kneeling halo. So guys, make sure and grab the kettlebell upside down, and it's really important when you're behind the head that the elbows are bent all the way. It's a big mistake I see a lot of people making. They don't bend the elbows and they cause some stress to those elbow joints, which you definitely don't want. Now on this exercise, I do 5 repetitions per side and then I switch knees. I'm really focusing on keeping those glutes engaged during this exercise and also keeping the abs engaged. You can see how far down into the shoulder blades the kettlebell travels each revolution. Okay, moving on. Next up, we have the kettlebell arm bar and bent arm bar. I'm starting on my right hand side here. You can see I put that left hand over my head and very, very gently roll that knee over to the opposite side. Now I'm keeping my eyes on the kettlebell just for a little bit of balance, really pushing the kettlebell up toward the ceiling. Into the bent arm bar, some strong reps, keeping the triceps nice and tight and also the lats tight. They need to rest on top of each other in the bottom position. All right, we're gonna move on to the other side. So guys, when you start this exercise, make sure it's a really light weight. For me, 16 kilos is fine. I'm really just focusing on packing that shoulder and driving the fist up toward the ceiling. Oh, you can see some proprioception there. Those muscles are really firing to keep that kettlebell there. Into the bent arm bar, focusing on really activating my lats and keeping a tight grip on the handle of the kettlebell. I love this drill for thoracic rotation. All right, we're moving on to the prying goblet squat. I love this exercise. You can really get a lot of space in the hips through this exercise, and for me, it's especially important to get some ankle dorsiflexion in my left side because I've had 5 ankle sprains on that left ankle from high school until today. It's totally fine if you let the heels come up on this exercise, but also think of it as a way to mobilize the toes. So we go toes, ankles, knees, all the way to the hips. It's a really, really great drill for any sort of lower body exercise, especially squats, just really honing that technique before you get going with your session. So a light kettlebell will suffice. If you only have a heavy kettlebell, that's fine too. All right, we're going to be moving on. All right, we're going to do a little flow here that captures all of the movements of the kettlebell, minus that Turkish get up, but we already took care of those with the arm bar. Okay, just a super easy flow. Clean, press, snatch, into a square stance windmill, finally a deep squat. Okay, switching sides, same drill. Clean, press, snatch, windmill, moving down into that front squat position. So now my body's feeling a lot more warmed up. I even have a little bit of a sweat going on here. So I know that I'm prepped for the exercise that I'm about to have in the next session.
All right, guys, that was as simple as I can make a kettlebell warm-up. Most of my clients will do a warm-up series that's very similar to this. Now, knowing that so many of us have neck issues, that's why we started out with that kettlebell behind the back to mobilize the neck. Next, we moved on to those half-kneeling halos to really warm up the shoulder girdle. Next up, we went into the kettlebell arm bar and bent arm bar. Those are some of my favorite warm-ups, really learning how to pack the shoulder and push up toward the sky, which is so important on pressing and straight arm kettlebell exercises. Finally, we went to one of my other favorites, the prying goblet squat. That prime goblet squat is great for finding more space in tight areas like the groin and even the ankles right there. Okay, finally, we finished with a very easy flow of the kettlebell that goes over a lot of those prime movements that we use in most of our kettlebell workouts. I kept it super simple, very lightweight for me, 16 kilos, clean, press, snatch, windmill to a front squat. I just did 2 rounds of each of those per side to get me ready for my workout. So, time for me to train, time for you to get your warm-ups on point, and that's all I've got for you guys for today.